Dave, Carroll, welcome to the Hemmings Daily. Something that we just made up last week because we're lonely and missing our friends, and we want to check in with everybody, see how everybody's doing. And by the looks of things, you're in a room that would be my paradise. Like I wouldn't mind being in isolation with all those guitars and a banjo on the wall. How's things
It's good.
going with you, man?
It's good. This is my studio. I call it the treehouse. It's a detached building at my place, and it also comes with a loft upstairs
Oh no
with
way.
a little mattress. So I'm aside from the bathroom, I'm self-contained out here, and it's a nice place to be.
No, is this where you're doing all your awesome videos? Like I've seen you make so many great music videos, Dave. And is this kind of the creation space for all that?
Yeah, this is where I do all my songwriting, and if I have any green screen stuff, I can hang it off this loft thing here. And yeah, so I'm learning as I go. This is every video I do, I'm picking up all sorts of tips.
Fantastic. And Dave, as a musician, tell me, how has this crisis impacted your industry for better and for worse? Because here in New Brunswick, I know Music New Brunswick is paying musicians to do these virtual concerts, and that's a really wonderful program. But yeah, what's your thoughts?
Well, it's a horrible time for anyone in the service industry, and musicians, speakers, all the things I do and I offer are dependent upon disposable income and people coming out and doing things with their extra money. And so the whole industry for now is just eviscerated. And it's time for people to sharpen the saw and get a little better and hunker down, write new songs if you're a musician, maybe write the book if you're a writer, do more research. So there's opportunities here, but in terms of income and cash flow, it's pretty much dried up for all musicians in that industry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And um, I mean, it's really critical for all of us to continue to support our artists and small businesses in any way that they can. And what would be some of your advice for people who don't know how to support musicians at this point right now?
Uh, Find an artist that you like and support them, reach out to them. Everybody's got a lot of time on their hands, so people like to be inspired. Musicians like to know they're being listened to or that their music matters. And I've gotten some great feedback from people just in the last few weeks that have come across songs they'd never heard before, and or have revisited because they've got extra time on their hands and they're going through their back catalog. And it's nice to know that in tough times your music matters in for whatever reason. And so support your musicians by inspiring them to know that they matter and remind them that.
That's fantastic. And Dave, one of the things that I absolutely love about you is you are fearless when it comes to playing in different mediums. And like we mentioned about the videos earlier, you've always made wonderful videos, right back from the Sons of Maxwell days to your solo stuff now. And I remember Andrew Tibby showing me the edit of the train project you guys did, train safety. Like you're doing so many neat things with video. Uh, what's your thinking and behind this and the passion? And you're doing it yourself. A lot of it
Yeah.
is you're doing it yourself, which I really really respect. And not everybody's doing that. But speaking as an entrepreneur, entrepreneur hat now. Why is that important to play with these mediums and not be afraid to produce and release?
Well, to be honest, if I had been as successful as I wanted to be, I probably wouldn't have done those things. So it's my lack of success that's driven my ability to try new things. If I had like a blossoming music career that was just making tons of cash, I would never have done United Breaks Guitars. But you can bring a little. You can lose the shame, I guess, and try new things and play in ways you wouldn't normally if you were worried about what other people thought so much. So that's, I guess, in a way, my lack of success has been the driving force in my ability to do cool things.
Well, the funny thing is, like, I'm sure you're probably getting tired of people talking about United Breaks guitars, but how cool is that too? That experience has led you to speak on many, many different stages as a public speaker. So you got
Yeah.
musician, you got video maker, you've got public speaker. So, like, why don't you tell me a little bit about that experience? About you probably had no idea. You're probably pissed off that the airline screwed your guitar up, and you're like, "Screw these guys! I'm gonna make a song." But you probably had no idea the
Yeah.
impact. Like, yeah,
No,
what were you thinking?
and everything in my life in the last, say, 10 years has happened because of that video. Everything has led to a new opportunity. And the only probably smart thing I can take credit for is for going through the doorways. When an opportunity comes out, I've said, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to go through it and I'm going to see what happens. And there's really nothing to fear. especially with social media and homemade video products. They don't really cost that much, so you're not risking your mortgage or anything on anyone's careers depending on it. If it fails and you fall flat in your face, you just make another one and carry on and don't read the comments. And there's nothing but opportunity when you have social media available and your own creativity.
In our own studio, like you and I are both in right now. So
Yeah.
I've got two of your latest videos lined up. Okay, and I wanted to ask you which one we should share first, because they're both fantastic. Love them both, but let us know what the first one you'd like to be.
Well, probably because we're in the coronavirus times, probably the washing your COVID-19 hands is probably the one I'd want to.
So the COVID song project?
Yes.
Our hands are fueling today's pandemic. Do your part, be more hygienic. Wash your hands, get them clean. Please don't spread COVID-19. Wet your paws, go make them sudsy. Fingernails and thumbs get grubby. Wash your hands like they're stained. Send corona down the drain. Save your neighbors, take command. Do the right thing, make your stand. Wash your hands. Got to wash your hands. Wash that COVID-19 from your hands. Wash your COVID-19 hands. Wash your COVID-19 hands. Wash your COVID-19 hands. Bye-bye, Corona. COVID-19 hands. Wash your COVID-19 hands. Bye-bye, Corona.
I smile, man. That is so good. That is so good.
I had a lot of fun with that.
And you got so many people from all over the world for this. What explain how do you manage to make that happen?
So the one thing, one positive throughout all this is that it is uniting the world. Everyone in the world is facing the same threats, and washing our hands is the one thing that we can do. And so it occurred to me, I've traveled to, I guess, 35 countries as a speaker, and I've met really interesting people along the way, and have friends that, like Pete Cassidy is a good friend from high school. He's now teaching English as a second language in Japan. So that's his daughter who's wearing the Japanese mask with the branded Japanese flag thing. And so she's in the video, and I reached out to people in 8 different countries and asked them to freestyle. Give me your best freestyle of hand washing. And I'd initially started asking people to do certain things, and then I said, just give me whatever you want. And that was the best idea. And so I incorporated that in the video, and then most of the shots are with my family here in isolation.
What a fun way to engage the kids, you know?
Yeah.
Because in a way, you know, we don't really necessarily have time to be their teachers throughout the 9 to 5 or 9 to 3, but there's things that we can do. I've been thinking about this as well. Like as a video maker, like I can include the kids in some of the things that I'm doing, and they're learning as a result. It's kind of neat how this whole crisis has made all of us look at education slightly differently. Like I'm really excited. My daughter's learning how to do animation right now. As we speak right now, she's writing a play and a song with friends on another video stream right now. I'm surprised our bandwidth can handle this. How are your kids faring out?
Good. I've got 2 boys, 11 and 7, and they're like everybody. They just want to play video games all day, I guess. But we've got them on a tight schedule, and trying to get them every 30 to 90 minutes, switching up. They got some playtime. We have a puppy now, so part of their day is to play with the puppy for a certain amount of time and just keep them active. And we're nowhere near on schedule, but at least we have a plan every day.
At least there's a plan. At least there's
Yeah.
a plan. Okay, so the next video, which I'm going to press pause on this one. Sorry, we already showed that one. Tell us a little bit about the next one as I find it.
Is it the Don't Taunt the Fridge?
Don't Taunt the Fridge, which it was just scary for a moment. I didn't know if it was real or not, or if we were ever going to see you again.
I get crazy ideas sometimes. So I had this vision of people that were just go a little bit crazy in their house. So the boys catch me hiding behind my fridge door again, and they're communicating with my wife and explaining that. And then it just gets a little crazier from there. And it's just a 1 minute video. That's just good fun.
Okay, here we go.
Mom! Dad's hiding behind the fridge door again!
No, he's not.
I see your head, Dad. Your legs are in full view.
No.
We still see one leg! Yeah, that does nothing.
Don't look at my legs anymore. Look away from there. Don't look there.
We can totally see your reflection. I see your face, Dad! Nice try.
Oh no.
What the? Hey!
Boys, call 911.
What the? Mom! The fridge ate Dad! Mom, it's true! Dad's gone!
Was he taunting the fridge?
Yeah, sort of.
You should have known better.
Mom, what's for supper?
Oh my gosh, man. Dave, you kill me. You're killing me.
Thanks. The response has been really positive, and we're just inundated with nothing but bad news for the most part. So if it's an opportunity, if you like making fun videos, it will brighten people's day, and they will notice it more than they would any other time.
Yeah,
So.
that's right. It's such a good point. Being a bright light in a time where it seems like there's not a lot of bright light is absolutely critical. This I'm going to show you something here as I put my window down. Hopefully I don't lose you. This is, I don't know if can you see that?
I do.
It's
Yeah.
backwards,
What does it say?
of course. It says we're all
and
we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
And my kids made that, and that was their own little initiative. And Dr. Tam, our nation's chief medical officer, ended up seeing it on the internet, and then she retweeted it, and it blew up. This little sign right here. So speaking of doing things for the right reason and just sharing it out with the world to see what happens, So my little girl's art is now part of the social media history book now.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
You probably know Gary Maxwell, I assume.
yeah, very well.
Yeah, so Gary and I are friends too, and we were just shooting the breeze the other day and talking about ways to make better content. And so he came up with the term brighten the feed, and that we should be spending our time on social media trying to brighten the feed. And I'm seeing a few signs of that, but it's encouraging, and I think we should all do that.
It's funny, like the times that I've tried not to brighten the feed, it just doesn't work. It's not like authentically, it's not me, I always have this feeling that the people who are putting important information out there that's challenging and negative and scary, that's what they do, and it's important, but that's not where I show up,
Yeah.
and that's not where you show up, Dave. Like there's a place for people like us to brighten the feed. And you're right.
Yeah.
There's so much crap out there too. I don't even bother. I don't look. Like you said, don't look at the comments. No, never for me.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
You create, you share, and move on.
Yeah, that's what you should do. But I do read the comments sometimes, and I regret it. I regret it every time. But it's like watching a car wreck.
That hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, too funny. So what's next? What do people have to look forward to from you for your next creative outlet?
I've been seeing tons of musicians getting on and doing concerts and online, and I've never done one before. I question, for me, I can't really multitask. So the idea of trying to talk to somebody and share a story while reading comments and then interrupting myself to talk to the people, that I find that really distracting to watch, and it'd be impossible for me to pull off.
Well,
but
yeah, I think you can. Like Brent Mason just did one last week, and it was really touching watching it. And he wasn't like, he's probably like you. He's like, I got to just play, right? But it felt like a songwriter circle style. And he wasn't. He saw a bunch of hearts and stuff coming up, but he didn't. He wasn't close enough to read the comments, so he didn't even bother. But he just did it as a Facebook Live, so no Zoom, nothing strange, and he didn't even have a microphone, if I recall. It was just, and it sounded great,
there's only so many Brent Masons, though.
That is true. That is true. And there's only so many Dave Carrolls, Dave. Just
Yeah.
so you know.
Brent and I have a contract. I have to say something nice about him every 30 days.
Oh, well, is this once or twice now in the 30-day period? All right. Like,
Yeah. He may owe me money now.
I love it. We'll see what he says in the comments. That's great. So, Dave, best way for people to get a hold of you, and I'm thinking more, even more so on a professional basis, because I really want to make sure that people know that you are still open for business, whether that's as a inspirational speaker, virtually, as a musician, whatever. What's the best way for people to get hold of you and follow what you're up to?
Everything that I do, I post on my website. So davecarrollmusic.com, and my email is dave@davecarrollmusic.com. So that would include, like you said, speaking, or I'm into the idea of creating music and songs and advising people on how to make social media content that stands out. So I'm still very much open for business and love what I do.
Awesome, Dave. Well, thanks so much, man. Stay healthy and safe, and looking forward to seeing you in the flesh again.
Yeah,
It's
you
been
too,
too
Greg.
long.
Thanks, man.